The craziest thing about Honor the Giant was I was introduced to him during the movie Princess Bride.
It was one of my favorite movies. I loved it, and I never understood a word he said until maybe the 50th time I saw it when I was 9 or 10.
Anybody want a penis?
Hey, Andre, can we go again? Because it's sounding like you're saying anybody want a penis. It's got to rhyme with mean it.
Anybody want a penis?
All right, so can we really hit that T? You got to hit that T on peanut.
Anybody want a T?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Kite Club. With me, as always, is my best friend of 25 years, Seth Shapiro.
What's going on, everybody?
We have in the booth Emmy and Ben. Thank you so much again for joining us on another fantastic adventure at the Kite Clubhouse, coming to you live today from Corolla Digital. Shout out to Adam Carolla. Thank you so much for having us. You know what it is. You know the rules of Kite Club. Tell everyone about Kite Club. Second rule of Kite Club. Tell everybody about Kite Club. Third rule, like and subscribe. Leave reviews. Help us out. Those really help us out a lot, actually. Leave a comment. If you have any questions for us, that really helps out as well. So just thank you to everybody who has been with us on this incredible journey so far. I got dates coming up. I'm going to be at the Hollywood Improv this Thursday, May 18th, the day that this show drops. I'm going to be in Austin at various clubs and shows May 26th through June 1st. And I'm going to be at the Tempe Improv, June 29th through July 2nd. Go to JonathanKiteComedy.com for all the dates, information, links, that fun stuff. Let's get to it. We were just talking about how there are no Black Muppets.
Yeah, well, there are. They try to be colorblind, but at the same time, they finally actually recently introduced a Black Muppet.
And what was the Black Muppet's name?
Well, the original one from back in the 70s or the 60s when the show first started was Roosevelt Franklin, and he was done by he was voiced by the original Gordon on the show.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
He had that turtleneck.
Yeah,
he had great hair.
Yeah, that's right.
He was great. And
Roosevelt Franklin. Yeah,
they have a Filipino one now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have one with autism.
Right,
named Julie. Yeah, they're trying to get a little bit of everything on Sesame Street. It's great. I show it to my kid.
Yeah.
It's one of the only things that I'll let my kid watch because it isn't like
Let
super
me ask you this,
fast.
though. Do you wonder if it's a black puppet that they have to have a black operator?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because I wonder because you don't want to have him.
Oh, right.
You don't want to have him. Doing like in black felt.
Right, in black felt.
That's what puppeteering. If I was a white guy and I had a black puppet, I'd be in black felt or black hand. That's a black-handed compliment. When people tell me that it's great, that he's great, they're like, hey, man, you really gave him a black-handed compliment.
I wonder if that means that Elmo is supposed to be black then, because the original voice of
Kevin Clash.
Was that his name? Kevin Clash. Yeah. Right.
I said, here's my impression of Seth Rogen as Tickle Me Elmo. And I go, the puppeteer that operated me, Kevin Clash, was charged with sexual assault. But he was never convicted. What?
Did Tickle Me Elmo, for those who are like not as old as we are, that was one of the original viral gifs.
Very problematic to invite someone to tickle you.
Right. Is that maybe why it did so well? Is that both kids and a certain cross section of adults also bought the toy?
Yeah, or they would dress up for it. Do not tickle kids. If you're listening, and we know you are, if you see like an Elmo at
the playground.
Yeah, if you see you don't tickle him.
Or on Hollywood Boulevard.
That's what I was thinking. Hollywood Boulevard. If you see him, do not tickle him.
And please call your local authorities. We've been looking for that guy for a while.
That's the thing. That should be on Megan's Law when you go on the app, when you see the location of a sex offender house, it should just be an Elmo face.
Right. Or like at some point now it's going to be you have to stay 500 feet away from any like school or church or also Hollywood Boulevard. You can't go there anymore.
Well, I just think that's a crazy thing to say. Tickle Me Elmo. A creepy invitation was in his name.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty ridiculous.
I know, and you pull the string and he's like, this is just between you and me.
Why was the string lower on him? Keep pulling.
Yeah, the first anatomically correct
I'm
Muppet.
almost there. You pull it hard like
Elmo's almost there.
Yeah, like it's a lawnmower from the 70s. You're like, oh, that's it.
That's my Mr. Noodle.
And then when he comes, it's just Kevin Clash's voice. Oh, damn, that was good.
This is quite a way to start off a show. What were some of those other really great viral gifs of the 90s like Tamagotchis were huge, but like there were certain gifts around Christmas time that like it's what started people like bum rushing each other at
Beanie Babies.
Beanie Babies, absolutely.
That was the number one.
But
Remember that
wasn't
famous scene in court when a divorced couple was dividing up their Beanie Babies?
No.
Yes, it's a famous thing where that was the settlement, and then they were dividing them up in front of a judge.
Wait, but what were the little creatures that were like? They were sort of like the first AI. They were like those little weird Furbies.
But then they got sued by gremlins.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, because it was a gremlin with a third eye.
Well, and
it was just a more enlightened gremlin.
It's like they still had gremlins left over in stock, and they had a bunch of
because
extra
they got too many of them wet.
Yeah.
It's like, stop getting the toys wet. We're just making more of them, and no one is buying them.
They couldn't stop feeding them.
Bye, Billy. Was that the cutest fucking thing in the world?
Yeah, Gizmo was the cutest, man. That was Howie Mandel, right?
It was Howie Mandel. And then Michael Winslow did a lot of the other ones.
Really?
Yeah.
So he wasn't just a sound effects guy.
He was just like, gremlin.
They're like, you actually have lines, Mike. Can you like try to like?
That where it was Stripe.
Oh, he was Stripe.
No, I'm saying I don't know who was Stripe, but that was one of the craziest movies of all time because right away everyone was like, those rules don't make any sense. Feed him after midnight. How does this gremlin know what time zone you're in?
That movie had exactly.
Don't get him
which
wet.
Midnight? When does the next day start?
It makes it impossible for gremlins to fuck. Don't get him wet.
Yeah,
that dude is wet.
Just wait till they're married.
Sopping. Yeah. Then they'll never reproduce. That's the opposite.
But what was the...
Wait, what's the other one? Bright light.
What was that?
Bright light. You couldn't show them the bright light.
You couldn't flash light. Well, that kills them. Light actually
Yeah, that's what I mean.
them. Right.
So they have vampiric qualities?
Those were very random rules.
Dude, those were the three that they stuck with. That's a crazy way to come up with something.
But also, that was like one of the first horror comedies, but it was also made for kids, which is weird.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like most horror comedies are sort of like irreverent commentaries on horror, right? But this was just like, this is going to be a kid's Christmas movie.
Remember the crazy story where they find out that the reason that Phoebe Cates hates Christmas is because her dad dressed up as Santa Claus and then broke his neck coming down the chimney as Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Dude, that's just a random story, like in the movie. There's no warning for it.
That escalated quickly.
And then
that was one of those moments.
Remember where they're eating fried chicken?
Yeah.
They're just like, I'm wet.
I hope they did a tie-in. Was that it had to be KFC, right? Was it Out of the Bucket?
I don't know what it
busket?
was.
No.
Out of the Busket, yeah.
Out of the Busket.
Yeah, the Gremlin pack. It's just 6 little annoying nuggets.
Yeah. It'd be fun to think about like how they would definitely cross-promote that movie nowadays, for sure. They would it would be KFC or like Popeyes was so much more trendy than KFC now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it would be the nuggets. There'd be a box of Gremlins.
Right, the Gremlin nuggets. Do you remember the McDonald's nuggets in the 80s where they made those characters?
Absolutely. They came with Happy Meal toys.
Yeah. Right, which was
I'm the cowboy nugget.
Yes, they had different dress up.
The one had a white hood. I'm a clam nugget.
Those were really, really big in the South. Remember that?
That was the only one they had.
It was the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just bought different hoods for them.
Yeah, in the South, they've never heard of Tickle Me Elmo.
All right, so let's see.
That's blocked out.
So we've talked about child molesters.
Yeah.
We've talked about the Klan.
Yeah.
Who else can we turn off so far?
It's the holy trinity of
the holy trinity of awfulness. What we wanted to talk about today? I'm trying to think.
Oh, I watched the Andre the Giant documentary.
Oh yeah.
So somebody recommended it to me. You guys know who Andre the Giant was? He was a pro wrestler.
Over 500 pounds, over 7 feet tall.
But I will tell you something. Yes, 7'4", 500 pounds.
Huge.
The craziest thing about Andre the Giant was I was introduced to him during the movie Princess Bride.
Yeah, I think most of us were. Well,
I wasn't aware that he was a wrestler. He was over 500 pounds, like 520 or something. Mm-hmm. I mean that is big
dry.
by any standards.
Totally dry.
And that, by the way, that's post shit. Because remember that there's a story that came out about him a while ago that he like took a shit on a plane. Number one, it's fake news. He couldn't fit on a plane unless it was a Boeing 747, which is what they called his shits. But we saw him for the first time in Princess Bride.
Anybody want a peanut? Anybody want a peanut? Anybody want a peanut?
I can't believe he didn't have subtitles.
I mean, that movie came out, I think when I was 6 years old in 1986 is when I think that movie came out. And It was one of my favorite movies. I loved it, and I never understood a word he said until maybe the 50th time I saw it when I was 9 or 10.
They're done with it. They have to bring him back in the booth.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody want a penis?
Hey, Andre, can we go again? Because it's sounding like you're saying anybody want a penis. We are gearing towards kids. So can you? It's peanut. It's
Hey,
peanut.
Andre, it's got to rhyme with mean it.
Yeah, it's got to rhyme with mean it.
Everybody want a penis?
All right, so can we really hit that T? You got to hit that T on peanut.
Everybody want a tea?
Andre, are you having a stroke? Are you okay in there, man?
I'm drowning in my own tongue.
Man, I bet that dude ate pussy.
He never stopped.
I'm hungry for pussy.
Oh my God,
Andre, we're still
How
rolling.
did he not play Alf?
Yeah, I only eat pussy.
How we would have paid? By the way, that would have been the #1 OnlyFans of all time, Andre the Giant porn. Because whenever in the video you see him, I'm wondering like if he has a log ride down there, if he takes him to Splash Mountain every time. Because there's this great photo that they have in the movie where he's standing with a bunch of beauty queens. I mean, that guy would have had the greatest OnlyFans page of all time.
I have to think that there's a Princess Bride porn out there, right? There's got to be.
Just the three of those guys doing a gangbang?
Yeah, gangbang.
Inconceivable!
Yeah,
He just keeps
doing
introducing
gangbang with
himself to the
Buttercup.
girl. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to come. You know what's crazy is I actually...
The six-fingered man, obviously.
yeah, he's in every hole.
Yeah, he's in all of it.
He's in all of it. Yeah.
He's just doing this. They're like, clearly you have 10 fingers. But he's just a double shocker.
He's called the Pieman. He's in everything cooling. So, but the funny thing was, like, I actually, after watching that documentary, because I wondered if I'd ever done it, I didn't really remember doing an Andre the Giant impression, but I realized that one of the first bits I ever wrote when we first started doing stand-up, like this was like 11, 12 years ago, I was trying to come up with a joke about how that movie was so iconic because you think about the movie itself, but those three guys, Vincini, hold on, I wrote them down, Vincini, Fezzik, and Inigo Montoya, they were the most iconic part of that movie. I mean, everybody else was great, but those three dudes, and so this was the biggest, hackiest stretch of all time, but I was like, what if those guys had the prequel was them doing a morning radio talk show? And like, I swear, I pulled it up, and I'm just going to do it real quick, but it was it would start off and then they would go welcome to the kingdom of Gilder and Florin in the morning show. I'm Vinzi.
I'm Fezzik.
Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. All right, the show just started. You don't have to threaten people right off the bat. That's why viewership is down. And then there'd be a sound of the shrieking eel.
Right.
And then I go, you know what that sound is? Those are the shrieking eels. And you know what that means? Caller number 8 wins a six-figured club. And then he goes, you're never going to catch him this way. Caller number 1, you're on. And then I had this character, Reggie. Hey, man, it's Reggie. Did I win? Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. He hung up. You have to stop threatening people. It wasn't him. And I don't mean to sound racist, but he sounded black. You're not looking for a black guy. You want an old English guy.
Maybe he was disguising his voice. I'm hungry for pie.
No rhyming this hour. But we're on 97.5, The Power. Our program, as always, is brought to you by iocane powder. We'll be right back. I'm going to tell you something right now.
Yeah.
The amount of laughs that it got in this room, which was 0, is what it got in a room full of people at the Comedy Store. And it was packed. Nothing.
Well, you know, I think maybe the fact
It was too new of a reference.
the fact that you went full out and you were wearing the costumes and going back and forth, it took you 20 seconds in between each character.
That was my entire 15 minutes.
Yeah,
it was just the costume changes. It was a real share show.
Yeah, it really cut down on your timing. I think it affected the rhythm.
No rhyming this hour.
But we're on 97.5, The Power.
I'm just picturing you in some like real shit open mic with like 7 other people sitting there on their phones, not watching you, and you're just bleeding and sweating this bit on the stage to nothing.
Well, my response was when nobody laughed, I just walked off stage going, "Inconceivable! This is terrible. You have no taste." I mean, anyway, that's that was. It's crazy because that movie was so iconic for so. I mean, I can't think of a movie in recent history where there was that many iconic lines.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like definitely one of the most from the 80s. For sure.
So they were doing a staged reading of it, and in New York, and my buddy Richard Kind was asked to play Vizzini.
That's cool,
because he has as iconic of a voice to go inconceivable.
Yeah,
you beat my strong man, which means you're strong.
Yeah, like what if Vizzini? But it's like the super Jewish Vizzini.
But it is. But I mean, Jews and Italians, it's the same thing. Just the food's different,
right?
But,
same hands.
Yeah, exactly. But that I thought because they were going to try to maybe do a play or a musical out of it, and Richard Kind I think was maybe in the running to play Vizzini.
I have to
inconceivable.
I have to show you. We got as a baby gift for our kid. He was way too young for it when he was born, but it's a Princess Bride counting book.
Oh,
yeah.
It only goes up to 6.
Yeah. One of his very
He's
first
confused.
books.
He can't believe that he's missing a finger.
Yeah, right.
It's not good.
Yeah, I know. It's given him an air of inferiority for his entire life.
But there's so much about that, right? The rodents of unusual size.
The ROUSs.
Yeah, I don't think those exist.
Yeah.
Carrie Ellis knocked it out of the park. Robin Wright Penn, incredible. As You Wish. But I mean, there's so many iconic lines from it.
You were going back to, or you were saying that you saw the documentary.
Oh, yeah.
And in the documentary, I know that they talk about, but there's also a story on the internet about how Andre the Giant had epic, famous farts that he would let out. That he let out one day a 16-second fart.
Yeah.
And Carrie Ellis talks about it in his biography. He said it was during the scene where he's on the table and he wakes up from being mostly dead.
Yeah.
Right. And Andre the Giant's he goes, "How long is it going to take?" And then he comes back to life and he puts his hand. He goes, "I guess not as long as we thought," or whatever that line is. Yeah. But apparently he put his hand over his mouth and instead of saying his line, he just let out a 16-second fart.
In Carrie Ellis's book, they just open it up and it's a pop-up and it's just for 16 seconds.
Yeah, it comes with a whoopee cushion inside the book to bring you back there.
He farted and then Rob Reiner, who was the director, said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "I am now, boss. I am now."
Amazing. But people talk about this. He was supposedly famous for doing this. And Hulk Hogan talked about how he would get in an elevator with him and let out a 30-second fart.
Come on, brother. Brother, I wish I had COVID right now so I didn't have to smell this shit. Come on, brother.
How is that not his finishing move in the ring?
I've never not seen Hulk Hogan, by the way, be that character. Even in interviews, brother. He's going like Hulk Hogan, he always sounds like you're not going to let him finish. Like you're trying to sneak in.
Yeah.
Like to talk about something. Before you go on, brother, let me just say this let me finish my DoorDash order.
He's definitely like an annoyed used car salesman. Like doing like a used car commercial.
You're trying to walk off the lot.
Yeah.
Before you leave, brother, I got an unbelievable deal that I'm going to get it from the top of the ropes. I'm telling you, the Hulkster doesn't give this deal out.
Look, I'm just.
You want the shirt off my back? I'll give you the shirt off my back.
Like, I'm just looking for something with power steering, and none of these.
You want power steering? The Hulkster's got power steering for you 24/7.
Look, I'm just saying, like, this isn't the deal I'm looking for. I'm looking for something like $2,000 less.
I need you to get in this car and drive me to the hospital because I think I just busted a blood vessel.
All right, I'm going to go now.
All right, let's go together to the hospital, brother. No, I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, anyway. It was, did you see that Martha Stewart was just announced? So top of the morning, I woke up, saw Martha Stewart, oldest cover model for Sports Illustrated at 81 years old.
Yeah. She's smoking hot, man.
Damn.
Relatively speaking.
I mean, she looks, I should be so lucky to look that good now.
Yeah. I mean, she looks great. She
looks amazing.
Actually, not even forget. A lot of people don't know she was a model. She started off as a model when she was like 15. Like, we know her by the time we were born and then like we're aware of celebrities. She was already like a
convicted criminal.
Right. She was already like a middle-aged, home goods person.
We know her from the show Locked Up Abroad.
Right.
Well, the craziest thing is that she had that second life, right? So she had the home like the baking goods, the crafts channel. She was like if Michael's Crafts was a person.
Yeah.
And so she then committed insider trading fraud. And
was there something with her employees as well? Like, was there some sweatshop?
Sweatshop, yeah, definitely.
There's some sweatshop issues.
And by the way, even if there's not, we're saying that there is,
right,
for clicks. And then she went to prison, got out, did the Comedy Central roasts, and then she was in everyone's good graces like almost immediately.
But you know what it was is because she joined up with Snoop Dogg,
right,
who has like the most street cred of anyone of all time.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. They are like the most unlikely.
The cop duel you never knew you wanted.
I would absolutely watch a cop duel.
100%.
Two of them.
But
here's what also gave her the street cred is that every year on those roasts, they would bring people on that obviously weren't comics. They'd have jokes written for them by the writers, and then they would do a not great job because they're not comics.
Right.
But she fucking crushed it.
Yeah, I mean, she had writers, but you know what was impressive about it is that she's so good at the other thing that she did, and then she was able to deliver those jokes.
Right, exactly, because it's not like when the situation was on, like, what does he do for a living? He lifts his shirt. And that's it.
Yeah. He should have had the jokes written here, but then he couldn't read them, so you know he didn't write them.
Like Memento.
Yeah.
What was I supposed to say?
Yeah, he tattoos them.
Yeah.
Be like, this is a one-night thing. The craziest thing about her is that she didn't change her personality.
Right.
She was still the homemaker, the craftswoman, the amazing baker. She used that sort of warm, like kind, motherly energy to deliver those brutal roast jokes.
Yeah.
Which was a cool thing because that was her identity, that she didn't run from it. She's like, me going to prison was a part of it. So then when she would say like not necessarily offensive things, but edgier things, people would go, well, she's done more jail time than anybody up here. And so it felt like...
So she knows.
Yeah, she gets it.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have tried her toilet wine.
So speaking of super hot older women, who would be your hottest women? Like hottest older women? Like give me like a top 3 that you would still totally...
Helen Mirren.
Bro.
Helen Mirren.
Get out of my brain. Helen Mirren, number one.
Number one. Such a smoke show.
But also because she when she does interviews and stuff, she's like a genuinely funny badass.
She very quick wit. There's like an old BBC interview of her from the 70s where somebody tries to like, knock her off at her game, and she just comes right back. And so very, very good, very funny. I would say Susan Sarandon.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Did I ever tell you I met Susan Sarandon one time?
No, for real?
I met her. So Corey Dane, shout out C Dizzle,
old friend of ours,
our friend from college
and high school,
and for me high school, and Eric and I were in New York, and this was like the early 2000s, and we ran into Susan Sarandon and her daughter outside of a I think it was their building, whatever. I don't remember where it was, and what happened was, I was a fan. I went up to her and I was just like, hey, I'm a fan of yours. You're awesome. Congratulations on all the success and everything, I think. And I can't remember if I specifically said like something about her, a movie or something. And we were all wearing gray fleeces at the time, like, the pullover fleeces, the half buttons or whatever. And she just looked at us and she's like, thank you. And she goes, wow, are you guys here from Xavier? And it didn't say, there was no Xavier on it. Like Xavier is in Cincinnati, Ohio, by the way. Like we weren't even there, but I guess we looked like 3 kids on a school trip.
That's so random, man.
And that was like, that was it. She was very nice though. Very nice.
And see, in my mind, I'm going to go ahead and put the ending on that it ends with you railing her, because then that makes the story a lot better.
By the way, my life's not over and neither is hers.
That's true.
This is my version of The Secret.
I think she's still so hot as an older woman because, do you remember her from like Rocky Horror? Did you ever see Rocky Horror Picture Show? Man, she was so hot in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Susan Sarandon, definitely.
There's got to be a porno of that.
Of Rocky Horror? That's halfway to porn as it is.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's just the deleted scenes are penetration.
Yeah, it's the same cast.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same everything.
Tim Curry. I'll show you why they call me Dr. Frankenfurter.
Tim Curry, yeah. That's his sauce. It's just curry sauce. A little spicy on your back.
Have you ever had a curry hot dog? Curry Frankenfurter.
So Seth and I proved that we both don't do a Tim Curry. That's what we proved that moment.
I didn't need to prove that.
No,
I'm not the one. No one's going to assume that I possibly can.
Every comment.
Yeah.
What was up with that Tim Curry?
Hey, man, you got to work on that shit, bro.
My third. Let me give my third.
Oh, yeah.
Caitlyn Jenner. We got to be inclusive.
All right.
How dare you?
No comment because I don't want to get canceled. So
we just did? Okay.
And we're done?
Your no comment was the cancel?
Oh, man.
Oh, just comment on it. Take a side, bro.
I can't even pass aggressively say no comment.
Who are your 3?
My 3, man, Helen Mirren, I'm trying to think of there were like 2 recent movies where 4 old ladies do something crazy. One of them was Book Club 2.
And 80 for Brady.
And 80 for Brady. Both of which had Jane Fonda and Rita Moreno.
Man.
So maybe,
They're taking all the jobs.
Jane Fonda, I would have said up until maybe the past few years, because now she's had so much work done that she's kind of got that Skeletor look going on.
I thought you were going to say because now you don't agree with her politics.
Right. No, I definitely do. Those who know how I sway. But no, you know what I'm saying? Like she definitely has like the 90 trying to pass for 60 kind of look going on, even though she's only 82 or whatever. But bro, I mean, I don't even want to call her an older woman, but Michelle Pfeiffer is.
Oh, I thought you were going to name someone in their 40s. You're Hollywood. You're like,
Charlize
bro,
Theron.
I don't mean to say it, but Jennifer Lawrence.
Right.
Am I right, guys?
I mean,
Still
let's
hot,
face it.
am I right?
Let's face it.
Over the hill.
Dude, Michelle Pfeiffer is
gorgeous.
ridiculous. Man.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
The
So I don't know. Mary Steenburgen?
Smoke Show. Back to the Future Part 3.
Oh, man.
Dude, I was going 88 miles an hour the whole time. Claire. Oh, Claire, right there. Great Scott, that feels good.
I wonder how old my son is going to be. My son's name is...
Da, 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 da. He just hums the theme as he's coming. Da, 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 da.
Did you come in me? The future is not yet written.
Her back, it just has 2 fire trails on it. How did you do that? Call me Cock Brown. Cock Brown, he only does anal. We only do porno versions of the shit on the show.
Marty McSpanish Fly.
Wow. It was Joey Lawrence is also there for some reason.
Oh, that was a heavy load, Doc. I wonder how old my son's going to be when I tell him that my son's name is Emmett, and I wonder how old he's going to be when I tell him you were named after a fictional, crazy, wild-eyed scientist from an 80s movie that I really love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy, wild-eyed scientist.
I mean, I'm going to share the movie with him first so that he falls in love with it, and then he'll be happy.
You're his Biff. That'd be an adorable costume if you go as Marty and he goes as Doc.
Oh man, that'd be amazing.
Little Doc,
Little Doc,
Doc Jr.
Well, we did that. We did Marty and Doc for Halloween.
And you were Marty and I was Doc.
Yeah, that was
not nearly as cute as your son.
No,
I'm not nearly as cute.
Not nearly. Baby Doc will be cute.
Who do the listeners think? Who are people that you would bang in octogenarians?
No, let's say 65 plus.
65 plus. Who are your?
Who would you still? Not like who do you normally?
Antonio Banderas.
Is he past this? Yeah. Let's not be gender specific. Like, what old dudes out there could still get it, right?
Yeah.
Liam Neeson.
And dude, Liam Neeson.
I wouldn't kick him out of bed. He'd kill me.
Yeah, you couldn't. His cock is too heavy. You kick him out of bed. Oh my god! I keep hitting this fucking thing. You kick him out of bed and his cock is still in it.
Well, he has a particular set of skills.
Dude, he is the shrieking eel.
With 6
You
fingers.
feel that? That's a shrieking eel.
Oh man, we are pornizing everything today, man.
Now, time for animal news with David Attenborough. Ladies and gentlemen, today I bring you an extraordinary tale from the depths of North Korea, known mostly for their brutal executions, fantastic Sams that only give Supreme Leader haircuts, and missiles with erectile dysfunction. Being that the entire country is a prison, we focus on one unique inmate, a chimpanzee with a rather controversial habit. Meet Azalea, the smoking simian, an individual with an insatiable craving for tobacco, puffing her way through an entire pack of cigarettes each day. They found this monkey, this chimpanzee, who smokes a pack a day and has learned how to use a lighter or to light a cigarette from the previous cigarette.
Oh, do the old, hey man, you mind if I? Yeah.
I know people that can't do that.
Well, my concern is, have we now given monkeys like the first step in taking over by like, we've given them fire. We just Prometheus the monkeys. But I've seen smoking monkeys before. Maybe is the issue is that like he figured it out on his own?
She.
Huh. Sorry. I'll show myself out.
Podcast is brought to you by sexism.
But yeah, did she figure it out on her own?
Did they
figure it out on their own?
Their own?
We don't know how Azalea identifies.
I don't.
Yeah, let's not make assumptions.
We shan't.
Do we know how Azalea figured out how to smoke?
Well, Azalea. This is going nowhere.
Azalea.
So they didn't really say. Probably from She got it from watching you, Dad. She got it from watching you, Supreme Leader.
Yeah.
She got it from watching you.
Well, then they showed her.
Kim Jong-un was like, where's this fucking monkey learning this shit?
Yeah. Well, then they showed her the Don't Do Drug commercial, and now she knows how to cook eggs.
Yeah. Oh, now she wants eggs.
Yeah.
Now she's thirsty for eggs. You know what's crazy about that is that they keep giving her cigarettes.
Yeah, like she can't get the cigarettes
She's
on her own.
not trading on the inside for a Lucy.
Yeah, she's not winning poker games.
Yeah.
At the zoo.
Who's smuggling her in cigarettes? I mean, this has got to be a huge attraction. This is where that's how bad the tourism is in North Korea right now.
Yeah.
Come see this. I won't do an Asian accent. Come see. Imagine it as an Asian accent.
You know.
Come see.
You're the racist.
You're the racist. Because the carnival barker is black. Come see the smoking monkey. Because we've seen smoking monkeys, but like one where they're, by the way, somebody is watching this monkey go and man, this monkey is going through a pack a day, and no one's stopping the monkey. Could you imagine if you tried to take away the cigarette? That is where Planet of the Apes came from.
Doesn't that sound like some type of yeah, there they are.
I'm not gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been there.
Been there, man.
Totally naked in the woods.
That is outside any bar in LA,
dude.
On a Tuesday night.
I'm not even sure this is Azalea the monkey.
Do you think that? No, but sorry, what you were just saying about Planet of the Apes. No, I think that's the problem. Is like we're just letting them do this for entertainment, and this is where it starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I went to a zoo because this was supposedly she's in a North Korean zoo, and I'm surprised she doesn't have a Supreme Leader haircut, by the way. But the zoo in Australia and the Taronga Zoo in Sydney, the monkey enclosure was so big that if they had been 1% more athletic or 1% smarter, they would have killed everyone. There were so many of them.
If they were 1% smarter, they'd be us.
Yeah,
because genetically,
and we would kill.
Right.
Because we put them in a cage.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if they were more athletic too, because if they could get over the wall, there was no ceiling to it. It was pretty nuts, man. It was like we were inviting evolution to take over.
We are dangerously brash with our technology. I mean, especially with AI nowadays, like we are this close to just saying,
give him a gun. Give him a gun.
Yeah.
What could that possibly do?
We learned nothing from the Jurassic Park movies.
That's what's going to happen. They're going to give him a gun that's a lighter. And it's going to evolve into it.
Now let's see what happens with a real gun.
It's like Robert Downey Jr. like building the Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
It's just monkeys in a cave, and they're going to come out.
Yeah, we really learned nothing from Jurassic Park. You know what's so funny is like I'll bet that when we finally have the technology to clone a dinosaur, one of the first things it's going to be used for is to like actually create real dinosaurs to be at Jurassic Park in Universal Studios.
100%. It's going to be. We're going to put them right in a zoo.
Yeah, the ride that's based on the movie, that's based on the lesson that we should have learned, is going to become the actual park, and then they're going to get out of control.
So my favorite Twilight Zone episode of all time is one where it stars Roddy McDowall, and there's a spaceship that's in the depths of outer space, and he plays a doctor that doesn't want to be there. And he has a discussion with one of the astronauts who's saying that he hopes that they find alien life because that's been his life's mission to do so. And Roddy McDowall pushes back by saying, like, I don't want to meet anything out there because of all the fears. And the guy says, don't worry. If we meet them, don't be afraid of them. They're probably just like us. And then the ship actually crashes onto a planet, and everyone they die except for Roddy McDowall. And then right before the guy that he talked to dies, he said, remember, be kind to the aliens. They might be just like us. So then when Roddy McDowall opens the door, he sees humans standing there in robes, sort of like ancient Greece or Rome. And they go, hey, we took on a form so that you would be comfortable, and we built you a house. And they take him to this house that's a replica of a house on Earth. And everything is done to exact specifications so that he's as comfortable as he possibly can be. They even give him whiskey that tastes like it, and they're really pleased.
They're like, you look like one of those humans that's a raging alcoholic.
Right.
So.
We'll settle you down with heroin and
this
booze.
This looks like the kind of house that you're probably used to. It's just like a rundown piece of shit.
Yeah, right. It's a shanty town.
Yeah.
It's just under a bridge.
Yeah, he's like, I crossed the galaxy for this.
And so what happens is they put him in there. They go, we'll see you later. He goes, oh, I want to go out and ask something. And he goes to the door and it's locked. And then he pulls back the window and he realizes that there's bars on the window and there's all these aliens looking in on him. And then he looks up to the universe and he goes, "You're right. They're just like us."
Aliens, they're just like us.
They're just like us.
I read that in Alien magazine.
But that's the thing. Like we would do that. Anything that we would see, we would immediately put it in a zoo.
Would? It's what we do.
No, I'm saying with something that's new.
Sure.
I'm saying, like, if
Right.
we created something like a dinosaur or whatever.
Because that's what we do.
Right.
With our relationship to every species on Earth is that they're literally our slaves.
We're the villain of all their existence.
Oh, man.
I feel like I literally went to go tie my shoe the other day and there was a huge colony of ants.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly imagine the ants just looking up and be like, "Oh, this motherfucker. Like, what does he want?"
Yeah. I mean, essentially, like we are one specific animal that somehow got super smart, right? Like this planet is the experiment of like super smart monkeys. What were to happen if the monkeys got super smart?
Right.
And this is what happens is like, because what do monkeys do? They smoke and they fling.
Throw shit.
They throw shit at each other.
Which, by the way, I mean, have you ever been to spring break in Florida?
Have you ever seen an episode of Springer?
I can't believe that one of those chimps didn't have like a backwards like Von Dutch hat on. It's just got a Monster energy drink.
Yeah. So
listening to Sugar Ray.
So that is this experiment. This is what happens when super smart when the monkeys get to be super smart.
Yeah.
So that's what happens. Like, a planet where the dogs get to be super smart would be a wonderful planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. There'd be a lot more ass smelling. There wouldn't be.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be a stigma about ass smelling.
Same amount of ball licking.
Same amount of ball licking, probably.
Yeah. Humans were like, that's how you do it.
Yeah. Right. They're the pros, so they'd be better at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But essentially any species maybe would be better than what's happened with the smart monkeys. But what we're known for is we make tools, right? Like, so monkeys use tools. And so that's what happens. It's like, that's the best thing that our species has done is our innovation with technology.
100%. But also that we've become meat eaters, where there are chimps that are known to eat meat, but for the most part, apes don't eat meat.
Right.
So that's sort of been the driving force for all the things that we do.
Right, that is true. Well, they do say that, there's studies that say that actually the eating of the meat is what actually helped our brains develop. Is that what you're referring to?
Well, that and and mushrooms and drugs, man.
And
look at this monkey.
The shrooms.
He's in the room. She's there in the room. I'm still trying to get the pronouns right.
You're already canceled.
That's how woke we are.
We're already canceled. So at this point, we can just say whatever.
Yeah.
We want.
Can you describe the monkey? No. It was smoking.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. I can't describe it to a police sketch artist.
Can we say that it was smoking? Is that okay? I want to talk about that dog. Speaking of animals that break laws. So a dude got pulled over in Colorado. And while he got pulled over, he switched places with his dog who was in the passenger seat. Cop comes over and the guy goes, I wasn't driving. It was the dog. I was just the passenger.
He came over when he rolled down the window. I want him to put the little paw up on the window thing. And then when it goes down, he goes, "Sir, license and registration," and then have him go, "Ruh-roh."
He put his head out the window. Yeah. Yeah, this guy was...
He's like, "Zoinks, Scoob, he's high as hell, take him in."
So, and then he gets out. No, here's the really funny part about this is the cops pulled him over for speeding. It was just speeding. Not so crazy. It was a lot. It was like 55 and a 30.
I mean...
All right, come on.
Come on.
But they pull him over.
Glass houses.
And they
dog
stand
houses.
there. They don't go to his car right away. And they watch him switch places with the dog. They're just standing watching this guy like, hey, are you guys getting this? This is amazing.
How do we know that in the car the dog was like, "Just put me in the front seat"?
Yeah.
They'll never believe it.
What a dick, though, to throw his best friend under the... It goes to show that the whole man's best friend, it only goes one way.
But they said this guy was drunk, but he was clearly on acid.
Yeah, it said that he was arrested for DUI for alcohol and or drugs.
Come on.
No or. And fully and.
This guy was on hallucinogens. That you were thinking like, "Listen, dog, here's what we're gonna do, all right, man."
You know what? I'd love to know what dumb shit our listeners or watchers have done under the influence. And I don't mean like dumb.
I thought you were going to say blamed on their pets.
Right. Right. But that's the kind of thing I'm saying. Is
like people usually blame like farts and stuff.
I don't want dumb like, oh, I walked across like the roof of a building and I shouldn't have done that. Like, I'm not talking poor judgment. I'm talking what was something that was so unbearably stupid, but at the time made perfect rational sense to you. Yeah. Because I'm trying to think if I've ever done that. I feel like whatever experiences I've had, I still don't think I've necessarily like done something that was so mind-bogglingly dumb that the next day I'm like, I can't believe I did that.
Oh, dude, yeah. And by the way, you got to take the dog away from that guy because he was drunk driving and putting that dog's safety at risk.
Yeah,
he didn't.
Exactly.
He didn't have a.
He didn't put the seatbelt on.
He was really
him.
Britneying it.
Yeah, that dog was also a goat.
Got in the car, had no underwear on. His dog was out.
His clam.
Yeah, his clam. I was going to say his schnauzer. Sir, please put away your sausage. And the dog looked at him and he goes, "Not you, sir. You keep eating." LimeWire's back. So LimeWire, this is a big deal because for people our age, it came out in 2000. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, LimeWire was an audio and video file sharing site where users would upload content that you could then download, right?
The more famous one is Napster because of the trouble that it got in, but
Napster was the original because it was an audio only, and then LimeWire followed 2 years later. Napster was 99, LimeWire was 01. Because it allowed video sharing, which was like a huge, I mean, people think of the internet now is like we always could do this, but you really couldn't because the way that it worked was you and the person that you were downloading from had to be connected to the internet at the exact same time in order for the download to go. So like you'd be waiting 3 hours for a download to happen and then they would log off and it would literally cut short the download.
Right.
And so there was so many problems, like you couldn't, and it relied on both of you having very strong bandwidth. So if they had crappy internet and you had great internet, and there were these huge files,
it's like
right?
It's the weakest link that you're susceptible to. Yeah.
So wait, look up some facts on live. I'm crazy because there's so many crazy things about it, right? Okay. Because the files used to be mislabeled, so it was a huge gamble because you would download a bunch of stuff, like if you were trying to download an album or like a video of a bootleg of a movie, and it would turn out to be porn. And a lot of times people were trolling by sending child porn.
That's a weird way to troll. That's just an uncreative way to troll.
I mean,
but that was like a 90s way to troll. Was that before that must have been before the Rickroll? Maybe that's
there was an original Rickroll. So what they used to do, so there was another file that people would send you and it was labeled something, but then when you would get it, it would just be Bill Clinton on repeat going, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I did not have sexual relations with that woman." It would just keep going. So you'd spend 3 days trying to get down this fucking file and it would literally just be a soundbite on repeat of Bill Clinton.
I feel like when the
lying on the stand,
you know, the internet is obviously the most I think it's the most groundbreaking invention that we've ever come up with because it's connected our species in a way that nothing has before. Like it's a whole new level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
And it's only been around for not that long.
But it's only been the way that we think of it now, where we have like AI chatbot and social media. This is so new. Remember, the internet before was crazy. If you said you met someone on the internet, it's like it was to catch a predator situation.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing though. So a lot of the files contain viruses. So it's like you were literally raw dogging the world. Because any file that you received from somebody, it could have been a virus.
Yeah. But you're downloading something that they downloaded, they downloaded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and if it was a virus, by the way, that's what would have been amazing if it came through and then it let you know it was a virus with the clap. Shit, I just got the clap.
Yeah, it was a real box of chocolates. The early internet really was. And I think people didn't know what to do with it. Maybe that's why they were doing these weird practical jokes is they're like, how do we be funny? How do we connect with each other? People didn't know what we could do with it yet. And so it was a free-for-all. Well, it was a complete free-for-all.
It was a free-for-all, but the thing was I would try to download live stuff, like live concerts and things like that weren't available for purchase anywhere. And so, but the thing was that there was always like a rumor of a boogeyman of the FBI being able to catch you. And actually some guy, I remembered it, but let me just look it up so I got it 100%. Yeah, there was a guy in Alabama who was caught by the FBI for distributing and downloading child pornography. And his name was Jeffrey Epstein. No, it was somebody else. And he spent 17 and a half years in prison. It's like, that's crazy that you would open something not knowing. It's like you just got tricked you got child porned.
You've been porn. You've been C-porn.
Right. It's the original punked. Just Ashton Kutcher being like, you got C-porn.
Before the Rickroll. Maybe that's what Rick Astley was trying to do. He was like a human rights activist. He's like, I need to give humanity a way to be a practical joke for each other.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, never going to give you up. He's talking about child porn.
But it's awful that like you want to download a song and every time you did it, you were risking going to prison. but that's how much people were interested in the internet. Is there
And
like
that
I'm
was the
willing to take a
risk,
chance.
right? It was so exciting just to be able to share files with people across, the world. Anybody that had it then became a possible place that you could download. And you have to look at how many sharers it had, because that was always a good indicator. The more sharers, you were like, oh, this is probably a legit file.
Right, 100,000 downloaders can't be wrong.
Right. So let me tell you, when we used to live in Studio City together, I tried to download this movie, The Dead Zone. So
Love
The Dead Zone.
dude.
Stephen King book that they made into a movie, starred Christopher Walken, Martin Sheen, incredible film. And it was always out at the video store, and I didn't want to buy it. And I figured, you know what? I'm just going to download it. Not a big deal. And it took every time it was like 3 or 4 days in a row. And just before I would get to the end of it, it would knock out, it would cancel. So I'd have to keep finding somebody who's.
How does this movie end?
Dude, yeah. I'm in a dead zone trying to download it. And so legitimately, I downloaded it. I finally did it after 5 days, and I go to open it up, and the entire thing is in Spanish. It's dubbed in Spanish. So it's El Zona de Muerta. And so the guy is just doing it, and I don't speak Spanish. There's no English subtitles. There's no options. It's just like, all the famous scenes of, and the thing is, the guy is he's not meeting the intensity of Christopher Walken. In that scene with the hockey players where like the ice is going to break, and he's like, the ice is going to break. He's just he's just, the guy is just like, El ice. The guy's like the most. It's like biblioteca.
Well, was this the official Spanish dubbed version, or was it like a dude in a movie theater with a video camera and
movie theater he was filming a VHS of it.
Oh, right, he was just recording his own VHS.
Dude, but
some dude in Mexico just recording
on mute.
That is so funny.
Doing the Spanish, not even subtitles. Spanish dubbed, and it didn't say that anywhere. It was the only version of it that I ever found.
But I'll bet this guy was like, my Christopher Walken impression is like, this is how I'm going to get noticed. This is because like this was before YouTube, so like this was the only way for people with random talents to try to get seen. This was before.
Fucking, I would have done it.
Yeah, it was before America's Got Talent. It was before reality competition shows. So it was before you could have your own YouTube or any other type of channel. So he's like, I need to dub movies and do my impressions. It's the only way to get seen.
Now they do it, and we talked about this with Groot before, you and I, about how he has to do it in all the other languages.
Right.
And so like that's like a pretty big thing.
Yo soy Groot. Yo soy Groot.
Je suis Groot.
Je suis Groot.
That's Andre the Giant.
Je suis Groot.
By the way, how did they not sign him? I want to say this real quick about Andre the Giant. The fact that he was that big of a dude, how was he not signed like a 5-picture deal to play huge people like Gulliver's? They could have done a real life Gulliver's Travels.
Oh, yeah.
How did he not have more acting work? He was fucking great in the movie, and he was the only person of that size.
Yeah. And they could just hire, they wouldn't even have to do any of that, relative filming that they do in like the Lord of the Rings movies. They just have him with regular people.
He could have been the Kraken.
It's me, the Kraken.
Yeah. Release the Kraken.
I'm here. I'm hungry for pussy.
He definitely sounded like he was having a stroke in every line.
Well, he talked like he was allergic to something that he just ate, but he wouldn't stop eating it. He would just have a normal voice, and then he goes,
I'm not going to put these down.
You wouldn't know what he was allergic to?
Peanuts.
Anybody want one? I can't eat
Anybody
this.
want peanuts? I can't eat this.
Andre the Giant sounded like he was gargling with the quicksand from the forest of sorrow.
Yeah.
Andre, we need that for the scene, man.
I'm hungry.
Anybody got a peanut? No, wait, you're allergic.
I don't care.
All right, we're running out of time here. Let's do a little bit of This Week in History. So the first Kentucky Derby was in 1875 this week, and last week was the 149th Kentucky Derby. And 7 horses died at Churchill Downs this year, which is also what a mentally challenged horse is called. And so ridiculous, so stupid.
And hold for cancel.
And hold for we were canceled there. So not the other stuff
before the punchline.
Tom Hanks was canceled for us. No. So I went to the only thing I'll say about the Kentucky Derby is I've gone a few times. It is the biggest distinction in the world of the class system because
the entire event is a performative, a exercise of class.
And what's the fairway? Is that what it's called? The fairway? The middle that's on the track is it's a bunch of mud people. It looks like it's like a Mad Max situation. And it's crazy because nothing is really done down there. There's not
the ground.
Oh, it's called the infield. The infield.
Yeah.
And the thing is that there's no policing. It's like a Woodstock, and people are just down there literally doing mudslides, like slip and slide through the mud. It looks like Burning Man. It's sort of all these things, and then there's the track that's surrounding. By the way, there's a photo up. This is the cleanest I've ever seen. This feels like a college brochure for a college that's in the infield.
That sounds like more fun than the upper levels, honestly.
So I would say though, the amount of I know people who have hung out there, it is really fun. It's awesome to be down there, but there's a lot of like crazy fights and stuff. Mm-hmm. And there was a story that we had heard the other day where they line up all the porta potties, and then like you were trying to get out of a gang initiation, people would whip full cans of unopened beer to try to knock you off this fucking thing.
God.
And if you made it, it's like, so people are whipping beer cans at you. It's like, this is the type of stuff that happens there. I mean, it's pretty insane. They don't really police it. It's like maritime law. Do
you think they have that in like on the site when you purchase tickets for the Kentucky Derby, and you're like looking at the different levels of tickets to buy and be like, all right, well, like the upper levels are like, $1,000, but I can get this $100 ticket, but it says that it includes getting whipped with beer cans by the upper levels.
Dude, that's the thing. The only thing that it isn't is it really is like a Hunger Games, because when you go to the Kentucky Derby, the races, they're so short and there's a lot of them, but like you really have to make yourself busy. Mm-hmm. So then I never got to the top tier. There's all these different tiers of money, and when you go up to the next tier, it really is like, holy shit, like you thought where you were before was great. It's just there's just more,
it's like Scientology. Like you actually have to take classes to be invited up to the upper levels.
Yeah. My thetan levels were never high enough to get to the top.
Right.
And so
it's just Xenu at the top. In a throne. That's it.
Yeah, I was going to say Xanadu. I knew it was Xeno, but I like Xanadu. So
I know my cult deities.
So the crazy thing about it was that these two societies just exist, and like everybody up there is in pristine like white and Easter clothes. Mm-hmm. Everyone looks like a Michael's craft sale, and then down there it's just like these people. It's like mud people. Mm-hmm. It's just like the Morlocks. It's like, it's
the
like
orcs.
Yeah, we're seeing all this stuff. This is like what's happening. And I remember when
that looks like fun, man.
It does, but I will tell you, Eric was down there and he was telling me that people were just beating the shit out of each other. There's like they just sort of let this society like have its own rules. It's like the show Lost.
Mm-hmm. So you actually need like insurance to act. That's the thing. Is like they actually charge a little bit extra.
They do have an insurance booth there. Mm-hmm. It's the only thing that's there.
Yeah. Not a medic booth.
No. They do sell crystals though. So that's the big thing. We got one more thing to talk about, the oy vey of the day.
Mm-hmm. What's your oy vey of the day, bud?
So people are getting too comfortable, and especially in regards to traveling at the airport.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
Because this doesn't need to be the 1960s where everybody looks like they're on their way to a Frank Sinatra concert or whatever, with furs and pearls and everything and little pillbox hats and whatnot. But the way that some people dress, they look like they're at a refugee camp. They look like they're in the infield of the Kentucky Derby, but they didn't get hosed off by the mud. Because here's the thing: I understand the comfortable is the new thing, and everybody has the right to do whatever they want. But you're around other people, and it's like, just can we try to be a little less disgusting to one another? Like when somebody gets on a fucking plane and they take off their socks and their shoes, it's like, or people go, I'm traveling, I don't need to shower.
People
smell like shit, and then we're in a cramped metal dildo. Aggressively
casual at the airport. They are full on, like, not nice pajamas. They're wearing like the pajamas they wore like 3 months into
where
COVID.
The butt flap doesn't work.
Yeah, 3 months into COVID lockdown.
Dude,
super stained.
When you travel through TSA, it should be like entering an Abercrombie and Fitch, where they just douse you with Woods cologne. Or like when it's Shawshank Redemption with the delousing powder. It's like when you're around, and by the way, I get it. People want to be comfortable, wear whatever the fuck you want, but realize that you are with people in a public space. You're sharing that space.
Yeah.
And it's like
we're not asking for a lot. A modicum, if you want to insult our sense of sight, fine, but not the sense of smell, because we can't do anything about that. There is no mask. Like a mask doesn't really hinder your sense of smell.
Don't make me put on a mask because you refuse to put on a bath. Like, don't do that. And also, when people like spread out into your part of the airplane, that's fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's like, and one more thing I'll say about it is the idea that, have you ever been in a plane where they say that they clean it, by the way, and then you were literally like finding shit like in the couch, like it's from the 1970s. You're like, oh, here's that bracelet I've been looking for 10 years and that peanut I thought I dropped. You ever been in a plane where the seat, and when they're like, oh, we just cleaned it, I'm like, stop using air quotes, and you get on there and you can smell the last person that's been there in the seat?
I don't like feeling like I need to bring one of those black lights onto the plane to check my seat.
CSI Southwest.
Yeah.
The whole,
our country as a whole could really use like
a Febrezing.
A week of re-education camp on airplane etiquette.
And by the way, then we should just get like United, whatever airline should have their own brand of Febreze. Even if it's not going to be clean, give me the illusion that I'm not sitting in someone's cesspool.
Yeah. Come fly the smelly skies.
Ugh. Thanks for joining us today. You have any dates you want to plug, brother?
No, just please check my Twitter and my Instagram for it. Twitter is at Seth Shapiro. Instagram is at the Seth Shapiro.
Give us a follow at Kite Club Podcast. We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. I'm at Jonathan Kite on everything. Again, for my dates and all my appearances and everything, JonathanKiteComedy.com. Thank you so much for Seth Shapiro, for Emmy, for Ben. I'm Jonathan Kite. This has been Kite Club Podcast. We'll see you next time.